Hey there, Bridging the Gap. This is Laura Brandenburg, creator of Bridging the Gap, and I am so excited. It is my first official workday of 2018, and I just got so much energy, got so much done this morning, and I wanted to just check in with our community and see how you're doing. How are you thinking about your career goals for 2018? What's on your agenda? What are you thinking about? So first thing, we have something really cool coming for you. It's going to be available tomorrow, Tuesday. The first part will be available. It's a 3-part free video training series on how to create more success in your business analyst career. So definitely stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about like the very first skill that you should be working on if you are not yet a business analyst and want to get started. We've helped tons of people apply this right away and become more of a business analyst like overnight. And we've also seen a lot of people who are in business analyst roles but kind of struggling with the requirements and struggling getting the stakeholders engaged in the requirements, apply this set of techniques and really flip around their career. So it's a really important skill set to be aware of, and it can really create some really big shifts in your career. The free training is also going to cover the entire business analyst blueprint and the skills that you need to be thinking about. So if you're kind of like, I'm not quite sure where to be focused in 2018, or where, maybe I should be reading some books or going to some events or engaging in some more training, this would be great. We're going to give you that overview so you can kind of complete that gap analysis and see where to focus your efforts. We're also beginning covering a lot of limiting beliefs that come up when people start to think about what it means to be a business analyst and what it takes to be successful as a business analyst, and things that just we see holding people in our community back again and again and again, and really keeping them from reaching their true potential in their career. And I just wanted to face some of these head on and give you my honest to goodness Laura truths about how to go around those. So that's a lot what was coming in the free training. I did want to talk a little bit today about career goals and kind of like what, if you're thinking about 2018, what might you be thinking about in terms of some career goals? Some career goals. So one thing that came up, it often comes up is expanding your skills in a particular area. So, but what skills, right? We're going to cover a lot of that in the free training, that blueprint, but be thinking about where do your projects hit roadblocks today? Where do you, what goes wrong, right? And how can you then develop a skill and leverage a skill that's going to help with that? So for example, if your organization is constantly changing requirements, or the software changes are changing requirements, maybe you need to do a little bit more work on the business process side, or you need to do a little bit more work on the scoping side and putting some more tools around scoping, or maybe you're not asking the right questions, right? So brainstorm some ideas of how could you solve the problems that are coming up in your projects, and how could you use new skills to solve those problems. And that's some great areas to be focusing on for your training. Also, it's not just about training, right? It's actually about experience. So you want to be thinking about, and now how can I use this in my project work? One of the things we do in all of our courses is we ask people to actually do the work. So you learn a skill and you do the work, and then you get feedback from our instructors, and a lot of confidence and momentum comes from that process. You can do that in your own environment just by being sure that as you're learning new things, you actually are going out and applying them and experimenting with them. And it can feel clunky at first, and that's normal, but that's why it's so nice to have that support network around you, so that when it feels clunky, you don't get stuck and just go back to your business as usual. You push through that and actually, make the change and do the work in a different way. Some things that people don't often think about when it comes to their career goals are things like expanding your network. So who can you connect with in the community? We used to have, as you may know, a set of job search resources. And every person that came to us from a job search perspective, or was in an urgent job search situation, they all wished that they had started expanding their network sooner than they did, right? It's one of those, a good concept I've been working on in my life is you dig your well before you're thirsty. So it's much easier to build a network and to build those professional relationships before you actually need to leverage them. Because that relationship, it's going to be easier to build. It's going to be on a foundation of trust and mutual benefit. And then, when something happens or you're looking for a job or you're looking for, needs help in some way, then you have the network that you can call on. And that's really important. Another thing to think about is certification makes sense for you in the coming year. Doesn't make sense for everyone, but there's more and more certification options that are open to us as business analysts. So it used to just be like you had to have the CBAP and you had to have 5 years of experience to go for the CBAP. So if that didn't work for you, you just were kind of out on a limb, right? You didn't have a lot of options. So now you have 2 additional certifications from IIBA. You have the ECBA, which there's no work experience requirement. And you also have the CCBA, which is just a little bit less, so 2.5 years of work experience. And you also have 2 options from PMI, both the PMP and then the PMI's PBA, which is the Professional Business Analyst certification, which again has lesser work experience requirement as well. So there's lots of options, and you don't have to necessarily have that 5 years of experience in order to get certified as a business analyst and have a credential that you can take with you and use to establish your reputation. But your real reputation, certification can often get you in the door and give you that little extra push, but the real reputation comes from how do you show up, how do you do your work, how are you helping your business, how are you serving your community. So I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and post below. What are your goals for 2018? Are there things you're thinking about, questions you have about that? And definitely look for that free training. It's coming tomorrow. I'm so excited. We're just putting the final finishing touches on it and getting things going for you. So again, Laura Brandenburg from Bridging the Gap. Leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and we help you start your business analyst career.